I wonder if we're going to want to lower this later. So good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming out on this cold night. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greater Lynn. I'm Reverend Chris Scheller, Minister of Community Life and Learning here, and we're delighted to be co-hosting in partnership with the Swampscott Conservancy this talk by Maria Sabrina Auclair on how to rid ourselves of plastic pollution. Everybody in the right place? I want to offer a warm welcome to those joining us on Facebook Live as well. And part of our vision here at this church is to offer programming for the community in areas such as this: environmental justice and social service, social justice, spiritual growth. We're going to have a Tai Chi class starting up in January through March. So you could check all that out online, uucgl.org. The Swampscott Conservancy, our partner organization, is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting the town of Swampscott in preserving open space and protection of the environment through education, such as tonight's presentation, research, active stewardship. And over its 5 years of history, the Conservancy has opened up new hiking trails, installed native plant gardens. In fact, we're going to be designing one here that someone from the Conservancy helped us design, hosted hiking and biking events, beach cleanups, talks ranging from subjects of coyotes to eelgrass. And you can check out the swampscottconservancy.org. And I'll mention one more thing, as I alluded to, on January 25th at 7 p.m., I invite you to join us here as we partner with the Swampscott Conservancy to offer a free hands-on workshop to learn the basics of native plant gardening and winter sowing. Participants will learn about native plants, prepare seeds for overwintering, and help the Swampscott Conservancy sow seeds for their spring sale, plant sale, and we'll also plant some seeds that we're going to put here at the UUCGL pollinator garden that we're going to put up in the spring. So we'll be exploring the relationship of native plants and wildlife and plant species for specific locations and native garden maintenance. So if you have some interest, please come out. The hope you'll be able to take home some seeds for native plants, and we hope that it'll help if you want to be planting some plants for pollinator gardens at your home as well. The Conservancy continues with its efforts in Swampscott through membership and through support. If you're already a member, you're invited to renew your membership 2023, and you can do that through the website. So now I'd like to invite up Sammy Lawler to offer a land acknowledgement. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have our Zoom meetings for the Conservancy, and before we begin most of the Zoom meetings, we do a land acknowledgement to honor the land. And so, thank you. Not so tall. Perfect. So I wanted to start with a land acknowledgement. We want to acknowledge that the land we are on, Swampscott, is a living being, and we wish to honor those who lived and moved through this space over time, including Pawtucket, Pennacook, Namkeg, Massachusetts, and Wampanoag communities who lived here, held ceremony, fished, hunted, raised their families for generations. We recognize the dispossession, displacement, and genocide of earlier days that made our being here on this land possible. We are all settlers here, connected through the land. What is a land acknowledgement? A formal recognition that we are on indigenous land, acknowledging the original stewards of the land and their enduring relationship to it. Practicing land acknowledgements can raise awareness about the histories that have often been suppressed or forgotten. It is a simple, powerful way of showing respect. And then I'm so happy to introduce Sabrina. Our speaker tonight, Maria Sabrina Auclair, is a Columbia native living in Massachusetts with her husband and 2 furry rescued princesses, and has a mission to show that being sustainable and more planet-friendly is something everyone can achieve, no matter what. She saw a need for plastic-free, low-waste products and refills in the local market and decided to step in and founded Unpacked Living Incorporated in 2019 as an online e-commerce. Today, she has storefronts in Beverly and Danvers and is the founder of the local Facebook page, Zero Waste Massachusetts, and as a hub of information for people who want to learn how to reduce waste and live plastic-free. Let's give a warm welcome to Sabrina.
Hello, everyone. I'm just gonna take this. It's easier. Good night. Hello. So, like Sammy was saying, I'm from Colombia. I have an accent. If you guys don't understand something that I say, please raise your hand and I'll repeat myself. All right. So we're gonna start by. I'm gonna start by introducing myself. Everything that they said sounds very fancy, but really, who am I to teach you anything? So, as Sammy just mentioned, I am the owner of Unpacked Living, and I am the founder of the Zero Waste Massachusetts group on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, you can look for it and then join. It has almost 5,000 members all over the state, and it acts as a hub of information to share events, share beach cleanings, all the information, laws, bylaws, mandates passed in every city and every single effort that anybody is doing to make our places better. So these are my stores. There's one in Beverly, one in Danvers. You're more than welcome to come. It's basically a store where nothing is plastic, and that is a lie. We are surrounded by plastic. It exists, and it's something we have to live with, but there are ways to maybe reduce it a little bit. So please come visit anytime. Let's talk about recycling for a little bit. Just a second, because it's a very complicated topic, and I don't want to get you all worked up and like it's confusing. I just want to say something. It's not about how much we recycle. It is about how much we waste or we throw away. So who here recycles? Everybody, right? I mean, I hope. Who thinks we should be recycling more? Wrong. We should be striving to recycle less. So, pre-cycling is a new word, a new thing coming up, where we try to purchase things and goods that do not need recycling in the first place. Package-free goods, refills. You don't have to buy endless bottles, endless bags, so you don't have to deal with the mayhem and the terrible thing that is recycling. So either bin that you use, it's the same. It's waste. You're wasting something by putting it in either the trash, going to landfill. By the way, we don't have landfills in Massachusetts. They don't exist anymore. Or the recycling. So it's still trash. It doesn't matter which bin do you use. It's still waste. And we're trying to be zero waste, which is also a lie. Zero waste doesn't exist. It's just a keyword that we use as people that are in that movement to say that we are trying to reduce waste, but it's not a definitive thing. Just like plastic-free, it's also a lie. So let's just make that clear. When we refer to zero waste, it's the reducing of waste, and plastic-free is the reducing of plastic, but not like forever. Like my cell phone is plastic. we're probably wearing plastic. So, the first thing I want to say about recycling real quick is do not rely on that symbol. Just because something says it's recyclable, it doesn't mean it will be recycled. Doesn't matter how much you put in that blue bin, it doesn't mean that it's going to be processed and recycled. So do not trust that symbol. That symbol is called the Mobius loop, in case somebody wants to Google it. It doesn't mean that that item that you have, it's recyclable or it will be recycled. It just means the little number that has inside is what says what plastic something is made out of. That's it. But it doesn't mean that if it goes to a recycling center, will be processed or the material will be purchased afterwards. So that's what I mean to say. I know it's complicated. Like, what is this lady saying? I think we can put anything in the blue bin from 1 to number 7. No. No. But I'm not here to tell you how to recycle. I'm here to teach you how to pre-cycle. So let's continue. What is waste? Wikipedia defines waste as unwanted or unusable materials. Waste is any substance which is discarded after primary use or is worthless, defective, or has no use. So there are many kinds of waste. For example, household waste, hazardous waste, wastewater, sewage, feces, surface runoff is when it rains and every gunk that's on the roof just falls off and goes to the drain. That is also a kind of waste. Radioactive waste and other kinds of waste. There are many, many types, not only trash. Others are e-waste, food waste, energy waste, water waste, industrial waste, and time waste. We also waste our time a lot. Who created waste? We did. If you think about many, many millions of years ago, nature is so perfectly made that nothing is wasted. There's no waste in nature. We made it. So we have to fix it somehow. The world generates at least 3.5 million tons of plastic and other solid waste a day, 10 times the amount a century ago. The US is the king of trash, producing a world-leading 250 million tons a year and roughly 4.4 pounds of trash per person per day. That's what we do. We produce approximately 3 to 4 pounds of waste a day. So I'm going to show you guys a video that I really like.
So this happens to me quite a lot. I'm hungry, I buy a croissant, I put it in a plastic bag, I pay for it, and I remove it from the plastic bag to eat it. Both the croissant and the plastic bag serve their purpose, but the croissant is gone, and the plastic bag will still be around for a few centuries. I use it for about 15 seconds. If I throw it away, the plastic bag can either end up on a landfill, it can be burned with all the other trash, or it can be blown away into the water and return to me in the fish I eat 25 years from now. It takes at least 450 years for one plastic bottle to decompose. So if you accidentally lose your empty bottle in the woods, you can still pick it up in the year 2400. However, most petroleum plastic does not biodegrade. It just fragments into tiny microplastics, not visible to the naked eye. So, on the upside, you can't break your teeth on this kind of plastic. This is me doing grocery shopping. It's almost impossible to buy anything that is not wrapped in plastic. As a result, we throw away a lot of plastic packaging, 140 million tons a year to be precise. Most of it ends up as landfill. A smaller percentage gets burned, and only a really tiny part gets recycled. What happens with the other third? We know the images of birds with plastic in their stomach. We have become accustomed to the idea that even on the remotest of all islands, this one, where nobody lives, the beaches look like this. If I tell you that every minute we throw one garbage truck full of plastic stuff in the ocean, you won't be surprised. How about recycling? If we would recycle all our plastic, you would think we would end up with a cleaner planet, right? But according to this study, Our use of plastic will be 4 times higher by 2050. So, even if we recycle everything we use, it won't be enough. We would still have to produce a lot more plastic. More importantly, new plastic is cheaper than recycled plastic. That means that even if you are a model citizen who recycles their plastic, most companies won't even use it. Producing this much plastic is plain dumb. Surely we can think of packaging that is reusable, refillable, or just not plastic. We are human beings. We invented helicopters, iris scans, and Tetris. We can surely invent our way out of this, and this. When you buy your takeaway coffee, you can bring your own thermos. You don't need a bottle around your shampoo, and you can bring your own bags to the supermarket. But we won't get there easily. Not with recycling alone. Not with cleaning up alone. It's time to stop using plastic and invent a hell of a solution.
We're going to have a round of questions afterwards. So save your questions for the end. So that's the sad truth about everything that's happening worldwide. But there is a movement now called the Zero Waste Movement. It's been happening for less than a decade. And what is zero waste? Let's just figure it out. Wikipedia says it's a set of principles that... I can't say that word, sorry. I'm going to switch it up. It's a set of principles concentrated on waste prevention that encourages the redesign of resource life cycles so that all products are reused. The goal is for no trash to be sent to landfills, incinerators, or the ocean. Currently, only 9% of plastic is actually recycled. In a zero-waste system, material will be reused until the optimum level of consumption. By the way, that 9% dropped to 5% this year. So the United States is only recycling 5%. So when you look at your bin full of plastic, 5% of that, it's only going to be recycled. There are many definitions of zero waste. Another one that's very nice is the conservation of all resources by means of responsible production, consumption, reuse, and recovery of products, packaging, and materials without burning and with no discharges to land, water, or air that threaten the environment or human health. So there are many ways to see it. The zero waste movement, the plastic-free movement are very new. Like I said, less than 10 years, probably less than 5. So there's really no definitions. There's no manual of how to do this. We're just figuring it out. All right. So this is my phrase. Remember this when you think of me. Everything about reducing your waste is about waste prevention and not waste management. Waste management has failed us over and over and over again. We have landfills filled with trash. That is waste prevention for you. We have 7 incinerators in Massachusetts at capacity, one that's so old and obsolete that is terrible it's even worse for the environment, which is the one in Saugus that they're trying to shut down because it's just so bad. Waste management is so bad right now in our state that we are literally hauling truckloads of our trash to Ohio and Maine. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. So it's more about waste prevention, what we can do to begin with, than trusting the way that it's managed. Because when waste becomes waste, there's no management, basically. So what is plastic-free? Plastic-free is one of those definitions that does not exist. So I'm just going to tell you what it means to me. It has many meanings, but basically it's a conscious process of realizing how much plastic we do not need in our lives. We are so used to just plastic being around in our toothpaste tubes, toothbrushes, everyday items, straws, cups. There's some plastic that we don't even know it's plastic, like bubble gum. Bubble gum, it's made of plastic. We're literally chewing it every single day, and we don't even know. Swabs, Band-Aids are made of plastic. So many things that we don't even think about that are going to landfill or to incineration, or just they become litter and go into the ocean, and then it lives there for 400 or 500 years. By the way, that's also misleading when, for example, the video says that a plastic bottle dissolves or like biodegrades. Plastic does not biodegrade. It can't. So it just disintegrates into micro tiny particles that we are breathing now. But every single piece of plastic made since the 1940s still exists somewhere in the atmosphere, in our rainwater, in icebergs. It's everywhere. So it's kind of dire. But anyway, plastic-free, it's a conscious process. I already read that one. It's a personal battle against disposables or single-use plastics. By single-use, I mean anything that was designed to be used once. Most people say, my plastic bags are not single-use because I also use them for my trash, or I also use them for my my cat litter, or my whatever. Those things are, single-use plastics are the things that are designed to be used once. It doesn't matter if you wash them or reuse them. It doesn't mean it's like a 2 uses. Plastic bottles, your shampoo bottles, those are things that are meant to be thrown out after you're done with them. And they become waste anyway, because we already said that anything is waste, including recycling. All right, let's move on. Plastic-free is the active avoidance and refusing of petroleum-based materials in the first place, even if it's inconvenient. It is inconvenient because you want everything to be fast. You just want to go to the grocery store and buy whatever is there. It's sadly not many options that we have to avoid plastic. Plastic-free is not a fashion. It's a mentality. It's most of all a necessity to help make the planet where we live cleaner and better. It is an ideal, a goal to work towards, and a journey. And down there's something I don't want to say out loud. So the best moment to stop using plastic was 20 years ago, and the second best moment is today. It doesn't mean it is too late. I'm actually here to show you what I did. And I give these talks because I consider that if I can do it, me, an immigrant, a person in a completely different country with no connections whatsoever, if I could do it, anybody can. I'm not important or wealthy or a special person, so I'm not just a normal citizen. And if I can do it, you can too. This was in January 2019. The first thing that people ask me when they know me or when they see my stores is, what brought you to do this? Like, why did you start doing this? Because I did this exercise. I look all through my cabinets, my cupboards, my drawers, and I just pulled out everything that was plastic in my house, put it in my dining table, and I took a picture. You don't really know how much plastic you have at home because you never see it. It's all scattered. Some is in your bathroom, some is in your kitchen. So I invite you all to do this exercise. And then you'll see how bad the problem is. And also how much you don't really need. And then you can also see like which things you can maybe switch. So this was in January 2019 when I started. You'll see many brands there that you probably use, things that everybody has. Then by 1 year later, January 2020, you can already see a little bit of effort. I counted in the picture almost 80 items there. Still a little bit of everyday plastic like toothbrushes. Cleaners are harder to go through because I don't know why. But, you know, it's a planned effort. It's a working towards something so it doesn't happen overnight. This was a year later. It's not like you're gonna go and do it. It takes time. January 2021, little bit less, 60 items, so 20 items less in a year. And then this was the picture this year. Everything fit in my coffee table instead of my dining table. My dining table doesn't exist anymore. So that was the picture, 39 items. So we went down in 3 years from hundreds of plastic items to only 39. I hope to renew this picture next month, and we'll see how it's going. But like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. It's not impossible. We just don't see it. So the best way to start this is not by throwing out everything you have and buying everything new, but by using what you already have and then start switching little by little. Some things that you might not need, some things that you want to keep using, but maybe you can find them in a better packaging. So what can we do? What can we do with this problem? The arts of sustainability are there to help you. Reduce, reuse, and recycle are the trinity of the sustainability arts, but actually there are way more. Refuse would be the first one for me, because if you refuse to buy something in plastic in the first place and choose better packaging like glass or paper or something else, then you're refusing to buy the material in the first place. Then reduce would be the second step, because then you're going to make a plan to reduce and see how much you have and then lower it a little bit. And then my point with these arts is the last resource is recycle. Should be your last step. Do everything under your power to do everything first, rethink, repair. Rot is a very important one. The most environmentally friendly thing that anybody can do, aside from obviously reducing plastic, is to compost. If you're not composting, get on it. It's amazing, it's the best. There are many programs in Massachusetts. Black Earth Compost is one, City Compost. Just Google compost, and it's great. And if you can do it in your own home, if you have a backyard, you're doing the greatest job in the world. Food waste is a big issue. We're not talking about that one now, but it is actually bigger. Food waste is a bigger problem than plastic pollution. So if you are composting, thank you very much. So this is basically what we can do. Just as I was saying, please do not throw out perfectly good items to be more sustainable. You can keep using your Tupperware. Don't toss it out. Keep using it until it breaks. Keep using whatever plastic item you have. You don't have to have your hairbrush made out of wood. If you still have a plastic one, keep using everything you have. That's the most sustainable thing you can do. The second most sustainable thing is, if you need something new, either buy it from an eco-friendly store or buy it secondhand. Very important, this one, use what you have. And then this is very important too. If you don't need it, don't buy it. And this comes from a person that owns 2 stores. So I want you to buy things, but don't if you don't need it. Overconsumption is a very big problem when it comes to reducing, because we want to buy things and buy nice things. And maybe, especially during the holiday season, it's very important to keep in mind that whatever you're gonna give to somebody might end up in a thrift store, might not be used, might end up being regifted. So it's thoughtful that you want to give somebody something, but think about it. Give them something either useful, that it's gonna go away, like, a bar of soap, it just goes away. Or give them something secondhand. Make it sustainable. There's so many things in the planet already made that there's so much for everybody. So secondhand stores are your best resource to just find something unique and nice. And then zero waste stores, and then we're trying to do better. think. Oh, okay. This is my favorite phrase by Sir David Attenborough. He says that you should live your life, but don't waste. This is my zero waste and plastic free should not be about switching everything that you're doing, because I know people don't want to change everything, but there are little changes that are so easy without being disruptive. So the best motto to think about is not waste things. Don't waste electricity, don't waste paper, don't waste food. Live the way you want to live, but just don't waste. Look after the natural world, the animals in it, and the plants in it too. This is their planet as much as it is ours. Just don't waste them. So thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. And please come to my stores. That's my Instagram account. And also join the Zero Waste Massachusetts group. It's a very short talk because I want you to ask me things. So let's just leave it there for now.
I think this one's working too, so we can, I can pass this around. So we can. But you know what, if you don't mind, because then.
Okay, so I'm really surprised the oil industry hasn't put a hit out on you yet. They're the biggest problem. As they see the death knell for oil as a heating substance, they're putting all of their energy into promoting plastics. You know, so at the beginning of the pandemic, it's cleaner, it's safer. And yes, who cares about solid waste? So how do you start to counter those messages? Because they're very well funded.
I think the consumers have power too. So yes, the plastic industry, not the plastic industry, the petroleum industry, it's very afraid right now of regenerative and different kinds of energy going into the grid and taking from them. So they are indeed pushing plastics down our throats. But I think as consumers, we should be smarter, and we should demand them to do better. Turns out it works because there are huge companies already making switches. If you go right now to any grocery store, you might see already a bamboo toothbrush, a deodorant that's in cardboard. So there are companies paying attention to the consumers, and the consumers want less trash. So I think, yes, petroleum is very well funded. That's a sad thing to do, but as human beings, we only have so much power. It's not like we can all go to Congress and tell them to stop taking money. So I think what we can do is as much as we can hold as individuals, and there's so much control we have. So I can control what I buy. I can control what I consume. I cannot control what Ted Cruz does in Texas. So yeah, I think we should think smaller, which is what I do anyway, because if I think about the state of climate change in the world, yes, I would be very sad. But I choose to be optimistic and to show these to people and to have 2 stores and maybe more coming and be available and affordable. So more people have access and knows about these products, because the problem is also, if you just go to a grocery store, you don't see and you don't know that they exist. There are products out there. Shampoo that doesn't come in a plastic bottle, toothpaste that doesn't come in a toothpaste tube. There are bamboo toothbrushes. There's so many things. If you come to my store, it's an entire paradise of everything you find in a grocery store, but just no plastic. So there is a way. They exist. But then we need more demand of those products instead of the commercial ones, the big guys that don't care. So, yep. Any other questions?
Yes.
Feel free to ask me about recycling too. I'm happy to tell you.
So, in thinking about my consumption of plastic, aside from all the plastics that's in the car that I drive, for example, a lot of the plastic that I seem to be encumbered with is stuff that is wrapped around food at Stop and Shop or Whole Foods. You know, Whole Foods recently migrated all their chicken into plastic. So, you know, you used to be able to just buy pieces of chicken and they'd wrap it in wax paper or something. You can't do that anymore. all loose produce like grapes and blueberries and things of that nature is all in plastic. Is there anything that you've encountered that's being done to try to change the approach that supermarkets use to plastic that we can participate in?
So when it comes to food shopping, it's a little bit more difficult because there are rules, there are regulations, there's transportation, there's shelf life. There are many things that the grocery stores need to do in order to comply with the Board of Health and X or Y. You're not gonna just go in and buy something moldy, right? So what I tell people, if there are ways to avoid plastic when it comes to food shopping, but it comes with inconvenience. So it's not a one solution for all. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and buy everything there. No, they also, like you said, have stuff in plastic. So buying local, it's most important. The farmers markets are your best friends. For example, something that I personally do because I really don't like all the clamshells that berries come in, is I tend to go during summer, and this is crazy me, doing it for 3 years, and I just go to the farmer's market and buy exorbitant amounts of strawberries and raspberries and all the berries I can find with no... I even bring my own containers because they don't mind if I just toss them in and leave them the little green thingies they come in. Because they can reuse that. For them, it's good, for the farmers. So yeah, I just buy a lot, and eat whatever I need, and then freeze everything. To this day, like December 12th, I still have strawberries and blueberries from this summer, from Maine. I bought way too many. So that's one way, but that's me being crazy, and you also need a lot of space in your freezer. There are CSAs. So if you join a local CSA from a farmer, that will deliver to you also in very reduced plastic. So let's repeat this again. The goal is not to eliminate plastic because it's impossible. It's to reduce it. So don't beat yourself up. Don't be like, oh, I have to buy chicken in plastic. Buy chicken in plastic. There's no problem. But then switch other things, like your everyday items. That's an easier thing to do than food because, like I said, food is just not easy or accessible so much to us unless we have our own chickens and cows and a garden. But actually, I think it is more accessible because of that. People are growing now their own food, some of it, at least. During summer, they grow their own tomatoes. That's one good step. Or they become beekeepers. Or you find the local people, the local person that has the chickens and you buy the eggs from them, the local person that's a beekeeper and buy the honey from them, the person that taps the maple trees and buy the maple syrup from them. So they exist. There is a market for it. And there are many CSAs and services that are way better for you in the locals. So part of being sustainable is also keeping it highly local. The fact that we are hauling food around the planet, it's also crazy to me. So I am not very good friends of going to the grocery store. I actually stopped doing that before COVID. It's not that I don't go, I do go, but there are entire aisles I just don't walk anymore. I go for some fruits, like just loose fruits like bananas and apples and stuff like that, which don't need a bag. You actually do not need a bag. I just toss everything in my car and then toss everything in a reusable bag. I don't use the little plastic bags anymore. So there are ways to reduce waste. If you want meat, there is a really good service called Walden Meat Co., and they deliver to your house, and everything comes from local farmers, from New Jersey, Vermont, Massachusetts. You can actually look, and it says who and where the farm is that your meat is coming from, and your chicken too. It's not plastic free, but it's better because it's local, so the carbon footprint is not insane, and you're supporting the local guys. And it's small. They don't sell you what you want. They sell you what they have. So if they happen to butcher 5 pigs, you're gonna get pig. If they happen to have a big cow, then you might get a nice cut of steak, but it's not on demand. It's what the farmers have, which is great. So, there are a few ways. Anybody else has questions?
So I wondered about this 5% of recycling material actually being recycled. I mean, this sounds like quite a myth that we have these recycling bins outside our houses every day. And does that just plastic, or does that include
Yes.
cardboard and metal too?
No. So the 5% rate is just for plastic recycling. Metals are highly recyclable. So metals and cans are your best friends. Please recycle any tuna cans, your obviously soda cans. If you like seltzer, don't buy it in a plastic bottle, buy it in can. If you like soda, buy it in cans. That material has so much value right now in the market. So the problem with recycling is a business. It's not something that just happens by the grace of God. No. We pay it with our taxes, and every single company, including JRM, Republic, Waste Management, all those companies are businesses. They need to pay rent, they need to pay payroll, and what they do is recover materials. They actually don't recycle anything. So those companies that I just named are material recovery companies. What they do is they take your trash and then divide it into bales of plastics, cardboard and paper, and metals. Metals sell right away. So they recover that material to sell it to someone else. So other people are the people recycling, like the mills have the paper. They take the paper and process it and make new cardboard and stuff like that. Paper and cardboard are right now not in such a good place as they were a year ago, but it's still a highly profitable material. So you're good recycling cardboard and paper. And metals too. Glass, sadly, we do not have a recycling plant of glass anymore in Massachusetts. It closed in 2008. So our glass gets crushed and gets made into aggregate for roads. So we're building streets, basically, like asphalt with glass, which is sad because that's downcycling, that's not recycling. So yeah, glass is also a good thing, but better than plastic. It can actually be made into roads. Some of it gets hauled to Ohio and Maine and other places that do have recycling plants, but we do not have one anymore. When it comes to plastic, plastic is not just one material. Plastic is 7 different kinds of material. So some of it might have value, some of it is not even recyclable. So that's what people don't understand. When you see the Mobius sign, the little shades in arrows, and it says what kind of number, like that is a different kind of plastic. Some plastics can be melted and made into something else, which are the high density ones, which is number 1, number 2, and number 5. This is where it gets complicated. Plastic number 6, which is polyester, which is what styrofoam is made out of, it's trash. It doesn't have any use. It can be recycled. It's a lie if you think it can be processed, it can be melted. Try to burn styrofoam. It just burns. So, and it just lives forever. Just in September, I went on a cruise vacation and it was heartbreaking to me. Pristine beaches in Haiti, and I know Haiti has a bad reputation, but it was actually really nice. There was styrofoam everywhere on the beach. It was so sad. Obviously, a lot of trash too, not as much as you might think, but me being me and having the eye that I have for trash, I could see it everywhere. But anyway, so plastic number 6 and plastic number 7, it's trash. Plastic number 7 is actually everything. It's not a specific kind of plastic, it's just everything else. So for example, straws, plastic straws are made with all the waste plastic, everything. Whatever it's left over, so it's not recyclable either because you don't know what it is. It's a mystery plastic. Plastic number 7 is also the category where new bioplastics are falling into because bioplastics are new. So all these new materials coming up, compostables and stuff like that, they don't have a number. So they all just go into number 7, which is also confusing. See? So the problem with recovering material is that they have to sell it. So JRM, Waste Management, Republic, when they have the bales of plastic, they have to offer it to other companies. Like, hey, here is a bunch of plastic number 1. Make it into clothes or shoes or whatever you need. If companies don't buy it, it's just like having any other business. If nobody buys what you sell, then you just go bankrupt. There's no place for it, so it becomes trash. And that's when it gets either shipped overseas, which we don't do anymore because, well, we do, but we don't. And the problem with that is that there's no market for plastics, for recycled plastic, because as in the video they mentioned that it's more expensive than virgin plastic. So it's cheaper to drill the earth and take all the petroleum out and make new plastic than use the one that we already have.
And do any companies, and I'm thinking of like laundry soap detergent, can they take the bottles back, wash them, and refill them?
I wish it was that easy. Big companies don't want to get into that. They just make money by selling you plastic. The detergent itself is not really that expensive. You're just buying their trash. And they don't care because they're mass producing a product. Companies like mine, my store, where you can actually come with your bottle and refill it. I'm not selling you another jar. You're coming with yours, and I'm actually just selling you the liquid. That's the future. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell the big guys, we don't want your trash anymore. I don't want to pay for another shampoo bottle. Sell me the product. I can bring my own bottle. I can bring my own jar. And now we're just realizing that we don't even need liquid things anymore. Most of the things come in a bar shape. Bar shampoo, bar conditioner, bar soap. You don't need your soap for your body to be liquid. You don't even need your laundry detergent soap to be liquid anymore. It comes in sheets, it comes in pods, powders. So it's just the rethinking of everything we've been taught. Companies made themselves billionaires by selling us trash and water. So we're becoming conscious consumers, and we don't buy it anymore. We're like, nope, there are better ways. I sell them, so they exist. You don't have to buy them from me, but they exist. So we're showing them that there is a better way, and we know that we're not dumb consumers anymore. So that's the problem with the plastic recycling. So it went from 9% in the United States to 5% last year. So that it's really dire. Like there's no out. We're drowning in plastic. And China was taking it for a while, and they were the ones processing it. But we were sending them so much trash and contamination. When they opened an entire container of our plastic, it was full of diapers, like used diapers and things soiled with food and stuff. So they said, at some point in 2018, they said, you know what, United States, we don't want your trash anymore. Malaysia said the same thing. Vietnam said the same. So we are drowning in our own plastic. And the problem is, for 12 years or 20 years, the United States didn't do anything. We were just giving our trash to everybody else, and the recycling industry stopped. We didn't advance with the times. We don't have the machinery. Most people don't know, for example, that in Massachusetts, cartons, like milk cartons, soap, like whatever, that's called a Tetra Pak. That's trash. That doesn't go in the recycling. We don't have the machinery to process that. Nobody in Massachusetts does. But you still see them in the recycling bins. I buy my milk in the cartons and I just put it, and they take it. Of course they take it. They have to, because they're not gonna start like taking things out of your bin. They have things to do and things to pick up. But in the MRF, when they get to the facility, all that goes to the trash. So it's a complicated topic, and yeah, it's sad that the United States is just so behind. We're behind 20 years of evolution in machinery and processing and things that countries like Switzerland and Holland do. They have like rates of 90% recycling. So we have a lot of work to do. Anybody else has questions? I think it's getting late, right? Or we have more time? Yeah, we have more time.
Is commingling recycling a drawback or an advantage?
So that depends mostly on the town. It doesn't really matter. So like dual stream recycling or one stream recycling is the same thing. But when cities negotiate the contract with the companies, it's cheaper to do dual stream, but it's also a lie because everything goes in the same truck. Now that switched. So for example, where I live in Beverly, up in the North Shore, we were, our company was, our hauler was JRM, and right now they got bought by Republic Services. Republic Services don't do dual stream recycling, they just do one, commingling. So everything just goes into the same truck and gets into the same facility, and then it's sorted. What's important there is mostly the rate of contamination, so just make sure your recyclables are clean. Don't toss your yogurt tub full of yogurt in the recycling. Wash it, because whatever gets soiled with anything, that's a whole batch that has to go into incineration. So keep recycling. I'm not saying don't recycle, do it. It's our last resource, but do it right. Yes.
Hi, I'm Loretta. I'm a member of this church, by the way. So I think you're great.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, do you talk to schools?
Yes, all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I have a presentation for kids, different ages, because they don't want to see that video. It's like heartbreaking. But yes, I do.
That's great. And then I'm kind of old-fashioned when it comes to ordering from Amazon. I don't like all the packaging, so I think I'll just drive. You know, I try to be drive and buy what I want. I
Yeah.
hate to see all the packaging and the guy going around the neighborhood dropping it off. And I think there's probably a balance there too, right? So what's my point?
Well, like the carbon footprint?
Yeah. You know, what is it better not to order from Amazon and do your own errands?
Well, you're asking the wrong person because I hate Amazon. So the carbon footprint of shipping in general, it's really hard to pinpoint because even though you don't order from Amazon and you're like adamant about it and you don't, your neighbors probably do. So the truck is already there. The problem with ordering from Amazon is that Amazon is a horrible company owned by a horrible person, and they are really not the best for the people. So my approach to plastic-free and zero waste and sustainability is also about giving my money to people that deserve it. I'm not hard earning my money to just give it to whatever and support horrible companies that don't care about what I care. So Amazon being that is like, I don't order anything on Amazon unless I have to, and it's the only place where I can find something. But there are people that order everything from Amazon, everything. Groceries, their sodas, their water, like it makes no sense to me. Like I'd rather just go to the local grocery store. But that's just me and that's my approach to things. Now that say, I drive everywhere. So it's not like I'm perfect. I don't drive an EV. I travel. I just went on a cruise. There's nothing more contaminating to the ocean than one of those boats. So this goes back to Sir David's phrase, live your life and do whatever you need to do to make you happy and whatever it's around you happy, but just don't waste. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Don't waste your money that way, for example, on Amazon. If you can go somewhere, like I said, it's better to support with your money the local grocery store, your local whatever, brewery, I don't know, whatever you're gonna buy, than give your money to Jeff Bezos and a company that just has orders every 18 seconds. Or order online, but order from your local stores. There are so many. Actually, in my website, we have an entire list of zero waste stores and where you can buy online everywhere in Massachusetts. There are many now. It's not just me. There are so many now. You guys have well, I guess mine are closer, but there's one in Melrose, no, in Medford. There's two in Boston now. There's one in, I want to say, Andover. I don't know. There's so many of them. Newburyport, Beverly, Danvers. There's south of Boston, Worcester. Like, we're popping up everywhere. So choose always the little guy. Choose always to support your neighbors, your local people, and go from there. So if you don't find something in Swampscott, then try Massachusetts. Then if not, then try New England. Then if not, then try at least made in the United States, but not Amazon. So that's my answer to that.
Speaking of Amazon, Judy had to leave, but she was saying there's a mass purge campaign right now targeting Whole Foods to stop using single-use plastics. She wanted me to share that.
There are many. Actually, there's Aldi. I don't know if you guys have an Aldi close to here. Aldi is a way better grocery store, I've heard, because I don't have one close, but there's actually one opening in Danvers. So there are ways to always choose a little bit better. Amazon, if you're going to buy in Amazon, I'll say, Amazon has a program where you can choose charity of your choice to give your money to. So every time you purchase something in Amazon, some of that money will go to a certain charity of your choice. So that's the least you can do if you're going to consume things from Amazon, like I do. I chose the Northeast Animal Shelter because I love dogs. So whenever I buy something in Amazon, at least I know a little bit of that money is going to a local place that I love. So. There you go. There you go. Then choose that one. All right. Anybody else has questions? We good? I'm going to try to talk to Sammy and give you guys a discount code. If you ever want to come to my store, just mention that you saw me in a talk and you'll get 20% off. Choose right. Go out in the world and be a conscious consumer. Live your life, but do better. And yeah, I mean, I hope you learned and you liked.
Round of applause. Thank you so much.
This is a bamboo toothbrush if somebody wants to see it.